everybody, how's it going? Welcome to Patch Day, the video game podcast where we talk about video game news, rumors, discussions, everything on video games. You know, the best form of entertainment there ever is. It's hard to argue that. My name's Kavo. Joining me as always is AJ9 Lives. AJ, how are you doing, dapper laddie?
I am doing Dapper Laddie, I like that. Salutations to the tip of the invisible Fedodo to you guys. How's everyone doing tonight? Looking forward to talk about all kinds of video games and stuff. I was watching the playback last week. I looked like I was half dead from exhaustion. I'll try to keep up the energy tonight. Just have me some coffee. Good to go.
I looked like I was about to die as well because of other things. Not necessarily because of sleep or anything, but mostly because of work. Last week we had another snow day. So we had no work on Friday 2 weeks ago because of black ice. It wasn't really necessarily because of snow. Then we didn't have any work on Tuesday because of snow, because we actually got snow that day. And
flurry.
No, we actually got at least 3 or 4 inches of snow.
Wow, that's what we got a few days ago.
Which, yeah, it was crazy. But so everything's fine now. It's all good. We're back to normal somewhat, I think. Hopefully. We'll see. Anyways, how you been doing? What you been playing in this damn video game business? What you been doing?
The past week it's been mostly WoW. We're gonna talk about 7.35.
Oh yes.
I'm not gonna get into it now, but let's just say it was an adventure. And I was looking at how much time to do it between work and this, so that little micro holiday, Googly Moogly. I'm excited about that because that's a nice homage to the original opening of Encourage. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit too, especially what what the patch did. Well, not necessarily the patch. It was actually before the patch what happened. But yeah. So how you guys in the Antorus now? What's your rating?
Well, thing is, we technically raid. On Mondays, we miss one of our tanks and some of our heavier melee hitters, so we're hampered a little bit.
Yeah.
Mythic World Breaker, haven't touched the Mythic Doggies yet, but we did Mythic ANR a few times. Give Mythic ANR some respect, because it's still ANR. But, Mythic ANR, there's, an extra set of responsibilities you gotta take care of. The amount of times we're like, all right, this is going pretty well. All right, easy peasy. And then... oh, I'm dead. I'm like, what? Oh, there's a whole pack of fell doggies that no one was on. Oh, okay. Who didn't get on the ship? Fuck you, So.
Oh, there's a ship now?
You gotta get. Well, yeah. There's always a ship, but you actually got to get on it. 4 people have to get on it and grab a proper color crystal and shut down the commander in there or something.
Oh.
Yeah, it's actually really involved compared to what it was in normal or whatever.
Right. Well, that's usually the case in most Mythic encounters. They usually add in specific things. Even especially the last boss. The last boss always has a different mechanic, and with Mythic Argus, he turns red. So
yeah,
he gets a visual enrage too.
Yeah, some of the best looking stuff in Antorus is when they play around with the reds. When you first go to the Burning Throne, where Varamathras and Coven and Agrimar are.
Yeah.
Some of the best color schemes I think Blizzard's ever put in the game is in that area, in my opinion. I like red.
Oh, well, good. I mean, red's one of my favorite colors. It used to be my main favorite color, but now purple has taken over that.
Purple?
I love purple. Yeah, purple's. I mean,
Too
if you
many epics.
you remember the last transmog I had before my current transmog, it was all purple set. So
I do, yeah.
It's now red pajama set, but it still works. So. Anyways, for me, so this past week was Subscriber's Choice Week on my channel, which meant I got to play some games I hadn't played in a while. One game I never played at all. I actually got to play Rocket League for the first time.
Nice.
A lot of fun, very frustrating because I suck.
It takes a little bit.
But it's very fun, especially when if you played Lucio Ball in Overwatch during the summer events, then that's exactly Rocket League basically.
Yeah. Did you play with a controller or mouse and keyboard?
Did controller, and I played with Velvet. Velvet and I were playing that game.
Yeah, I would give it a try with mouse and keyboard just to see how it is, because everyone says you gotta play controller, but it's totally viable to play with mouse and keyboard.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much all PC games you have more than one option you can do. So
with some some options are much better than the other, but like with Rocket League, it's completely fine both ways.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
was also went back into Diablo 3 for just to see what was going on, and it was also the other choice. Um, I got to do Necromancer for the first time. I hadn't tried that yet.
Nice.
And it was fun. I like the leech ability because it reminds me of Moira. You know, you
Hmm.
want some suck. But after a while though, like I just get drained from that because I've already done the story too many times. I don't really want to do the story again, so I go into adventure mode. And adventure mode drains you out over and over because it's basically world quests. Because
Yeah,
that's where world quests and WoW came from, was adventure mode in Diablo 3.
pretty
And
much.
yeah, but I'll eventually go back into it just to play it again, just to get back into the swing of things. But I did try out Pokemon Go again this week. There was an event called Community Day, where for 3 hours you got to get a specialized Pikachu. That when you catch the Pikachu, he had the ability Surf. So if you remember from the original game series, Surf was a move you could learn that allows you to ride your Pokemon and stuff, and
Right.
in the
Yeah.
water. And Surf was also a very powerful move
Yes.
in
That
anything.
hit.
Even if you had resistance to water, you get hit by a
Oh
surf,
yeah.
you'd almost get knocked out. And yes, I am sporting my Florida Mayhem shirt today because the Mayhem actually won a game this week. Woo!
I have no idea what you're talking about, but woo!
In the Overwatch League, Florida Mayhem won a game, even though it was against Shanghai Dragons, which, let's face it, is the Cleveland Browns of Overwatch League. Um,
Don't know what that means, but all right.
Cleveland Browns is a football team. Uh,
I know who they are, but I don't get the reference.
it
But that's
means
fine.
they're the worst in the league, basically.
Aw.
No, they really are. They really are the worst in the league. But
Okay.
not saying if you want to know more in detail on how we talk about on the Overwatch League and who's doing well, who's not, and all that stuff. There's another podcast I do with my friend Riggs called OWL Let's Break It Down, or just Let's Break It Down for short. Makes it easier. Um, and we talk in full detail about it. There will be one
Which
little
already
thing.
gets more views than ours.
Well,
It's already more popular than Patch Day. God damn it.
Eh, it's actually no, it's not because Patch Day had a higher rating than Overwatch League. However, it got very close that quickly,
Right.
so it
But I
might
mean, but to
it'll
be honest, the
overlap it
Overwatch League
eventually.
is what's like popular and happening right now, so that makes
Yeah,
sense that would get more attention.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sooner or later it'll probably overlap us on this,
Mm.
but it's whatever. It's fine. There is one news story we'll talk about that that is just something that happened this week. Actually, I'll just go into it right now. So, there was a suspension in the Overwatch League this week. XQC, who's one of the Canadian players who was on Dallas Fuel, he was suspended from the league for 4 games originally by Blizzard. But then the Dallas Fuel came out and said he was suspended for the entire first stage, which is all the way until mid February is when he's allowed to go back. Because he did some race or gay slurs to a fellow contender on the Houston Outlaws.
Mm.
Just basically along the lines of saying he can go suck a dick. Oh, he'd probably like that. Which, if you're used to streaming and everything, it's not overly a bad thing to say. But the
Right.
problem is he's part of a professional setting now.
Yeah, he's representing, something bigger than just himself.
Yeah.
So,
So he got banned or he got suspended for a month. And he also has to pay a $2,000 fine. So
wow.
yeah, guys, guys are a little screwed there.
And then it's funny, like he has to pay a fine right when everyone probably stopped sponsoring him because of what he said.
Yeah.
Whoop.
I mean, he's still getting paid a salary, so it's just
Right.
basically a dock from his salary. That's all they do. Um, I'm having a lot of fun watching it. I'm having a lot of fun doing the podcast on it. But so if no one's checked it out, I guarantee. Let me just let you tell you right now. You may not think it's if you're one of those guys on Overwatch, you're like, I like playing it. I don't know if I'd like watching it. I'd suggest watching it at least once or twice and seeing how they play. Like It's insane. We saw a pulse bomb from a tracer on a Pharah. Yeah,
That's hard to nail.
that's hard to nail.
That's
That was
precise timing right there.
Yeah, it's first off, the guy who did it was Logix on Mayhem. He had to go onto a pillar in Anubis on his tracer, which is not easy to do,
You
and
blink up there, right?
blink over to the Pharah, throw it on the Pharah as the Pharah was gliding across, and then he blew up. It was a beautiful, really like noteworthy play.
Do you have
So
a clip of that? Because I love seeing Pharaohs get
we'll
owned.
we'll see a clip. I'll show you. Rigsby, can you find a clip of that, please? And we'll send it to AJ and watch him cream himself. So, all right. But I
I
highly
mean, not,
recommend
not only
checking
do
it
I like
out.
Pharaohs getting wrecked, but like that is a genuinely good play, no matter
hmm
what. Like that's just wow.
There's a lot of great plays that happen in this. I just recommend you don't even have to like watch the entire series. Just watch at least one or two games. It'll get you it'll get you excited. All right. I didn't think I'd get excited over esports until I started watching them. So, and now I'm hooked on it. So it's whatever. But besides that, let's go into news, shall we?
Let's shall.
Let's do it. All right. So last week we talked about Dark Souls remaster.
Yeah.
So as you know, Dark Souls is getting a remaster of the very what? Hold on. The game it's not popping up. One second. One second. Why is it not popping up? Uh,
Do elevator music. Do 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 do
do do do
do
do.
do do do.
It's not working. All right. Well, anyways, while we're stalling on that, but yeah, remind the viewers real quick on what's going on with the Dark Souls while I'm fixing this.
Well, basically, FromSoft released that they were doing a Dark Souls 1 remaster. I first heard it being available for the Switch, and my first thought was, mother fricker. If you make it an exclusive, I'm gonna flip my chicken, all right? I am not buying a Switch for that. But I did some research. What?
Flip my chicken.
But I did some research, and it is going to be cross-platform. PC, Xbox, PS4, Switch, and some other stuff no one cares about. But like PC is what's important because I'm hoping that its PC port is better than the original because the original Dark Souls PC port was atrocious. If you tabbed out, the entire game minimized, and it was horrible. And like it ran like ass, and you had to, and it was locked at 30 frames per second, which it's kind of understandable for a game that was originally console, released in 2011. I can kind of get that. And you had to install DS Fix, which was a mod that would unlock the frame rate to 60. But then if you slid down a ladder, you ran the risk of flying through the world, or you might not be able to walk up a slight incline.
Yeah.
It was a messy PC port. So I'm hoping for not too many changes to the gameplay. Maybe just look a little bit shinier, polish a few bugs, and nail down a few basic coding things. And yeah, I'm really, really, really excited for it because it was an amazing game. A little bit of polish, it could have been one of the best games ever made.
Well, let's further that excitement just a little bit. We got an article from Forbes, who I don't expect to get that mostly about video games. However, they said there's some good news coming about Dark Souls Remastered. The remaster is of the 2011 masterpiece, is coming to PS4, Xbox One, Nintendo Switch, and PC. One of the Souls games being released on it's the one probably, but what's more important, obviously, PC is the greatest one they can go to. But
That's
what
right.
is important is that this remaster is going to a Switch. It's the first time it's going on a Nintendo console. Hard to believe that it's been nearly 7 years since the original Dark Souls came out and closing in on a decade since the release of Demon Souls. But
Oh
it's
yeah, the predecessor.
but it's also a pretty good stretch of time between the Xbox 360 and PS3 release. Game has aged over the years, and a fresh coat of paint and some other nice changes are exactly what Souls fans want. Latest information on the remaster comes from Laura Kate Dale, who accurately reported on the remaster itself prior to the announcement, claiming that a good amount of the work being done on the remastered version of the game is being held by Polish developer QLOC or QLOC. QLOC. Um, I'm glad that it is coming out for PC because, like I said before, if it was going to come out on PC, that is a console I would want to actually play it on. Um, I mean, it is out now, but as you said, the port wasn't as good as it should have
It
been.
was atrocious.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
so once it comes out, I would definitely get it. Oh, I should also mention I did pre-order Sea of Thieves, by the way. I did
Nice.
pre-order it finally. So this coming week is actually the beta for it on PC and Xbox. So I will definitely be doing that beta and seeing what's going on and plundering some booty.
Giggity.
So, giggity. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Arr.
So as far as right now, there is no release date on it yet, as far as I can see, or is there a release date?
I don't know where I was sniffing through, but I saw like a release date for April, but give me a moment to check up on that.
All right.
Bear with
Um,
me, bear with me.
Usually when they announce remasters, they're usually already in development of that remaster. So
Oh, it's probably been in development for a while now.
yeah, unlike like remakes or actual games, like or new games, that stuff usually takes a while and everything. But
Right.
while you're looking that up, let's talk about some Overwatch news that has been happening. One of the most anticipated maps for Overwatch was the Blizzard World map. And this was announced back at BlizzCon. We've all been wanting it. I've been wanting it. It's a magical place, and it's coming out this week, January 23rd. The official Blizzard Twitter account is distributing tickets to a fictional theme park that you can download. Just in case you want to feel like you're going on an actual amusement park vacation. However, as we learned from an interview, it's not a real place that's being built, at least, well, not yet, anyways. Someday, maybe. The Blizzard World Overwatch map has a theme park style with attractions modeled after various Blizzard properties, including StarCraft, Warcraft, and the map has been available on PTR since last year, but its move to the official game means it'll finally be available for Xbox One and PS4 players to try out as well, even though, let's face it, the PC is the only one that matters. However, as exciting as Blizzard World is coming out, and as exciting as the skins that were announced at BlizzCon last year are coming out, there is a new set of skins that have been announced recently that they've been teasing on the Blizzard Twitter account. The first one was the new Farah skin, where she's basically Egyptian Farah. She's a pharaoh, basically. And
Mm-hmm.
it looks awesome. And I freaking want this damn skin because she looks beautiful.
It is really nice, isn't it?
She's beautiful. Then there is shirtless Lucio. Lucio saw Doomfist is like, hey, I got muscles. Takes off his shirt.
Lucio, damn.
Lucio, damn. Uh, he's clearly not as developed as Doomfist is though. However, it's weird because you see him like that. He kind of has a baby face going on. Do you notice that?
He does. Yeah, I noticed that. I'm like, that almost takes me out of the moment a little bit, but all right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's called Capiora Lucio, I think is what his name is in that skin. It looks really great though. And then there's Kabuki Hanzo, which all the weebs were all like, yes! So, and by
I
all
didn't
the
know.
weebs, I mean Orgoth and Chain and Juice 3. But he looked a little scary, but I think it's cool. Not only that, there's been announcements of new emotes coming into the game as well, including a very awesome somber emote where she has a little Reaper marionette doll. It just
Yeah,
looks
I
so
saw. Oh, yeah, I
funny.
saw that.
It's
That
so
was
funny.
hilarious.
And then there's a face palm from Moira, which is what I really want. So my alarm's
Which
going
is
off.
gonna
Sorry.
trigger a lot of people.
Yeah. And then there's a backflip Genji. And then Mercy has one where she has her staff. She's twirling her staff on her shoulder. They actually released today on Sunday new epic skins that are being introduced as well for many characters. McCree's getting a recolor. Symmetra's getting a recolor. Junkrat is getting a shirt, which is odd. I don't know why. If you're used to seeing a character a certain way and then and then they change it drastically, it's kind of like what? It's a subtle difference, but it threw me off a little bit. But it's whatever. There's also a Reaper epic skin. He basically looks like the devil.
Well,
So
I mean, his name.
it fits. It fits the character. But these are coming out on Tuesday. So, real quick, I do want to let you know if you are planning on getting loot boxes to open on Tuesday, do not actually buy the boxes until Tuesday. Because if you buy them now, they're already going to generate what you're going to get. So, do not get them right away. Wait wait until Tuesday before you actually buy the loot boxes. And that's what I told Chia when I gave her her gift. I was like, here's some Battle.net account balance, but don't buy it, use anything till Tuesday. So it's gonna be exciting. What are the skins like? Maybe the ones we already heard about, or the new ones that have been announced. What are your favorite? Which ones are you looking forward to the most? You're muted, by the way.
As much as I hate Farah, that skin was fucking. Gotta say, like I haven't
Hmm.
looked at all of them. Like I'm gonna be completely honest. I haven't looked at all of them because I just haven't been bothered with Overwatch lately. But
Yeah.
like that Farah one looks great. How about the one that came out a little while ago around New Year's? That fucking snowy Sombra one is still just like, you know,
Hmm.
that one was fucking awesome.
It's beautiful.
Um,
Beautiful.
yeah, but like I don't care about too many skins. Like to me, I'm like it. Like does McCree get one? Like
He
that's always
does.
my
He
question.
has
Like,
one. He has one.
ooh,
Hmm.
what's it look like?
Did I not
I
say?
sh I should know this. I should know this. I really
There,
should.
it's a recolor. It's a darker. It's his you know the Deadeye symbol on the ultimate.
Right.
Yeah, it's on his cloak.
Ooh, nice,
Yeah, so and I think it's on his belt buckle too. So
nice.
it's really
In
nice.
replacement of the acronym for badass motherfucker.
Yeah, it's something else. But yeah,
Yeah.
again, comes out Tuesday, guys. Get ready for it. It's gonna be exciting.
Woo. Nova Widow. That's gonna be cool.
Nova Widow too. Speaking of
Yeah.
exciting, if you were a fan of the Fable series back in the day, guess what? There's a possible new game coming out. It has been said that a new Fable game is in the works at Forza Horizon developer Playground Games. According to a new report, Eurogamer sources say the new title will be a story and character-focused open-world action RPG, as opposed to the spin-offs such as the multiplayer-centric Fable Legends or motion-controlled Fable: The Journey. The game is apparently still in the early stages of development at Playground's new second studio. The company has previously confirmed that it's working on a non-racing open-world game, codenamed Project 2, but until now we had no idea what that might be. Microsoft representative told GameSpot that the company does not comment on rumor or speculation, but regarding the rumors, the co-creator Simon Carter told us that on one hand, it's great for the UK game industry, but on the other hand, it will be level. Oh wait, no, sorry, I'm skipping ahead. It is great for the UK industry. Very pleasing that Fable isn't dead. Indeed, it will be lovely to play one as a punter without coming out of the hives. What kind of? I don't know what that means. On the other hand, it is a little curious to get rid of the team that is uniquely expert in making Fable and then trying to make Fable. Fable's a weird game and a tough one to deconstruct for a new team. That said, the team in question is very talented and sure they'll do a fantastic job. All right, I've not played the Fable games proper, so I'm not entirely able to comment fully on this. However, I did see our good friend Dragon Exile, who's actually playing Fable on his stream the other day when I saw it. So did you get into Fable at all?
No, I have not, unfortunately.
Okay, if you're all excited about Fable, it's coming. There's one coming. Let's just put it that way. All right, let's move on from there. Anyways.
Real quick, the date for Dark Souls Remastered is May 25th,
Oh, okay.
and the spec, like it's graphic specs for PC, native 4K, all textures 2K unconverted, running at 60 frames per second.
Hmm.
Boom.
Hmm.
But only
Fancy beast.
720p 30 FPS for handheld mode Nintendo Switch. Suck it.
Well, it's not completely high def like all the other ones, so
Right,
expected.
yeah.
It's expected. All
Hmm.
right. So, I'm actually going to talk about that last because that's probably more discussion than I think we needed.
Which one?
Certain patch.
Oh, nah,
We'll talk about
nah.
that later. All right.
Mm,
Fortnite has hit a milestone, guys. 40 million downloads on Xbox One, PS4, and PC. Woohoo! Congratulations to them.
wow.
Gears of War creator Epic Games' popular stylized shooter building game Fortnite has a new player milestone. More than 40 million players have downloaded the game as of January. Studio told Glixel this is up 10 million from 30 million in December. 10 million increase in a month.
Wow.
They would not provide any details on how the downloads spread between the paid to save the world version and the free pub like battle royale mode. Whatever the case, it's still massive. The interview covers other subjects as well as such as under the hood improvements to make the game look and run better. You can read the full interview here at Rolling Stone. They got their big battle royale map that came out. Introduces new points of interest, such as new named areas. Additionally, the map's biomes will be divided up more clearly with aim at helping players distinguish them. Uh, I've still not played the game yet. I feel like I need to play the game because I've been pressured by a few people to download and play the game. I think you probably have too. I'm not sure.
Nope, not me.
Really? Oh,
I'm not Orgoth. I don't try to pressure and
don't try to pressure anybody
love
and
you,
let.
Orgoth.
Yeah. trying to get someone into like it. But I don't know. I'll try it at some point. I know there's a paid version and a free version. I'll download the free one at some point and just play and see if I like it. Uh, but yeah, I already have a lot of games that I play though. So yeah.
Just gamer things.
Oh, gamer struggles. You remember the days where you had a game, you played the game, you were done with the game, and then you moved on to another game. You remember those games?
I always cycled through games. I was never. It was rare, unless the game was like meh. It was very rare that I was truly done with
Hmm.
with any game. You know.
Right. There's one game I've been really wanting to play, and the only reason I hadn't played it is because it was on console specifically, but now the PC version of Final Fantasy 15 has a release date and system requirements. Final Fantasy 15 launched for the PS4 and Xbox One in 2016. PC owners are still waiting to play the open world RPG. Now publisher Square Enix has announced that the game's PC port will arrive March 6th. Very soon. Oh my god. The
Oh
PC
my
version
god.
will support native 4K, maximum 8K resolution, and HDR, as well as mods. Other features revealed with the trailer last year include high quality ambient occlusion and advanced hair simulation. Because we need to see those strands, man. We need to see those strands of hair. The port,
Hey,
which
don't
cost
discredit the strands.
the port is gonna cost $50 instead of $60, so $9.99 difference. A new dungeon, extra boss fights, an added in-game vehicle, and new features such as first-person mode. And all the spec requirements are below. Ooh, I like the artwork a little bit. It's called the Royal Edition. It says internet required though. That's a little. I don't always like seeing that, but it's whatever.
Wait, is that wait? Fill me in with this one. Is this like single player, like multiplayer, like optional? Like, what's the?
Um,
Because like I saw some hissy fit tweets the other day saying like don't require internet for single player games. I'm like I was just wondering if they were about this.
I think it is a single player. I'm not exactly sure what the deal is
Then
with
why the
that.
frickety frack would you need internet?
I don't know. I
Like
don't know.
like Dark Souls 2, for example, requires internet connection. But it's a single player game, but you have the option to cooperate, but like it doesn't matter. Like you have to have internet connection or like it gets mad at you. I'm like, that's really dumb. Single player games should not require that.
Right. Now, this is rewarded on most sites. It was rewarded pretty well. There was an 8 out of 10 by Peter Brown over on GameSpot. So big step up from Final Fantasy 13, obviously. Minimum specs for this, you must have at least Windows 7, 8.1, or 10. Granted, that's probably the norm now. Recommended specs are 7, 8.1, or 10. 4K is you have to have at least 10. Minimum Intel Core i5 processor, recommended i7. That's, again, standard on most games. Graphics card, you want to have at least an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 760 or a 1050 or an AMD Radeon R9 280. This is showing for minimum and recommended specs there. Main memory, 8 gigs, recommended 16 gigs of memory though. So get ready for a big freaking whop of a game holding up your memory card.
Mm-hmm.
Hard disk free on space, 100 gigabytes.
That's a pretty good size game. Like
That
put that
is
in
a
perspective.
lot.
Like perspective here. World of Warcraft is like 25 gigs.
Yeah, but
So put
also
that in
remember
perspective.
this. Most Final Fantasy games are a big chunk of game. It's not a short game. There's a lot of freaking content that they have in these games. Story mode takes forever to get through. It's
Yeah,
huge.
Square Enix just wants to load up your hard drive so you don't buy games from anybody else.
Yeah. I can't wait for the game. I really loved Final Fantasy games in the past. I played 10 before. I've started 7. I can't wait for the remake for 7 as well. I really want to try that. I did play a little bit of 13, then I got really bored with it. Final Fantasy 14 Online is a very fun game to play. However, I focus on one MMO at a time at the moment,
Hmm.
and I've been wanting to get this forever. So can't wait for this to come out again. March 3rd is what I said, right? Or is it 5th? I think I said
I think you said third.
6th. Oh, 6th.
Sixth. Okay, we're
We
both
were
wrong.
both wrong. All
Oops.
right. Going from graphics to cardboard. Interesting topic on there. Nintendo announced a new thing called Nintendo Labo. What the fuck is a Nintendo Labo, you might be asking? I'll let you know. Based on how it says, it's you make it, you play it, you discover. It combines the magic of the Nintendo Switch with fun do-it-yourself creations. Start with a piece of cardboard, build a 13-key piano, a fishing pole, or even a motorbike. Add your Nintendo Switch console to power it up, hold a recital, catch a fish, and win a race. With Nintendo Labo, building is just as much fun as playing. Have fun discovering how it all works. You might even invent new ways to play with each Toy-Con creation. That's Nintendo Labo. What will you create? So what this is you get a set of cardboard cutouts that you build yourself and attach to either your Joy-Con or the Nintendo Switch. And based on how it's created, it's supposed to sync up to where it allows like some sort of gameplay mechanic. Like you can legit actually build a piano out of cardboard through your Switch and actually play a piano through your Switch, which if you think is actually cool, but at the same time, who the hell would do this?
I don't personally see the appeal. I mean, it's one of those things like it's a neat idea. Who's gonna do it? You know what I mean? It's one of those things.
I mean, granted, it's a good thing to get kids to play something like this, like make your own creations and play. But at the same time, there's also Minecraft for that.
That yes, that is true.
They can do that on other on like PC or even other consoles. I mean, I get the appeal, but I don't. My first thing when I saw this was, don't care. Can we get more games, please? I want Metroid Prime 4. I want all
Yeah,
these. I don't really care about this too much. Let's move on. What the fudge?
nothing to see here.
Yeah. Best reaction is what Rig says. What the actual fuck?
Yeah, exactly. Like okay, sure, maybe.
I don't know. And here's the
Yeah,
thing. I don't even think these are going to be like cheap either. Like you're basically, it says, yeah, starting at $69.99. You're paying $70 for a variety of cardboard boxes, guys. All right, that's what you're doing.
that's Nintendo for you. They'll try to sell you that.
No, I'm not. Even if I get a Switch, I'm not doing this. That's just
Yeah,
no
I don't see the appeal.
ridiculous. Let's go to some of the.
I was never on the Switch hype train either. Like my stepbrother got one. I still barely know what a Switch is. Like I know what it is, but nothing beyond that because I just haven't been bothered.
I still want to get one because they actually have good games for it. The actual implementation of it is actually really good. There's just certain things that they add on it. It's just like, why? What are you doing? Anyways, let's talk about something that has an appeal to us. All right.
Mm.
7.3.5, the patch for World of Warcraft came out
Woo.
Tuesday last week. It featured a lot of the new features like level scaling for the whole game that was announced back at BlizzCon, as well as some little story notes that was added for post Legion at the end of it, and especially after you defeat your Antorus raid stuff. So every area in the game now has a level scaling feature. This is only available originally in Legion, but now is for the whole game itself. It's supposed to greatly increase the amount of options you have when deciding where to quest and when to move on to other zones. Additionally, corresponding dungeons are scaling as well, including the rewards you get from beating them. So, you could be level 60 and still be able to go into Ragefire Chasm
Or Dead Mines. Woo.
or Dead Mines. So you still have a 1 to 10 zone that you start out from. Or actually, hold on. Maybe where before the. Oh no, sorry. Let me take that back. Before this update, WoW leveling system get players in the starting zone from 1 to 10, but now the starting area features full level scaling from level 1 to 20. When you reach level 10, you can move to other areas that range from 10 to 60. After that, new zones will be available every 5 levels. It's a little more involved than that, but you can see it more information over at Wowhead. There's also new filters added for the selfie camera, so if you're into that.
I, I didn't think. I don't know we were asking for new filters, but all right.
I mean, someone
Who
wanted
uses a
them.
selfie camera? I don't
Someone
judge
wanted
you
them.
if you do, but
I do. Although there's been some issues with the selfie camera on Goblins, so I don't use it as often, but it's whatever. New Battleground Seethe Shore will also be added. If you have not seen this new Battleground yet, it is basically a mining competition. So you see nodes of Azurite pop up on the ground. First person to mine the node without getting interrupted by another player gets the points added to their queue. It's pretty interesting. I think it's cool. It looks
that's
beautiful
gonna be
too.
so broke. Like I don't know how monk talents work in PvP, but you just get a monk to put that ring up that nobody can pass, and like it's GG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, Ulduar time walking, it will be added as well. So if you miss Ulduar, guess what? You're gonna get it again. Silithus now has a short quest line that you can go to after doing the events of Antorus. Again, we talked about the Seething Shore. Legendary items now allow you you can actually get your own crafted legendary item at random, I think is what it is. After you get 1,000 Waking Essences, and you'll be rewarded one of the Legion legendaries. Mythic Keystone dungeons now closely mirror how they function in a raid encounter or combat reses, but mind you, sorry. When you start a Mythic Keystone dungeon, you'll begin with 1 charge and accumulate additional charges every 10 minutes. All combat reses spells now share a single pool of charges with a max up to 5 charges. Holiday dungeons are now available to all players starting at level 20. Again, the selfie filter as well. We already talked about that. Blah 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 blah. All
Yeah,
dungeons,
and
all dungeons now reward personal loot in dungeons. Dungeons. So not raid dungeons though. This is just regular dungeons. You can still turn on Master Looter in raid dungeons if you prefer. So, and a few toys that cause players other than the caster to take involuntary actions, such as the Piccolo of Flaming Fire or Tickle Totem, no longer function on targets outside of the party or raid group. So all those guys in Goldshire who did that Piccolo made everyone start dancing. Sorry, unless you're in a party, that doesn't count anymore.
aw,
Poor, pitiful ERPers. Just saying. But the thing I do want to talk about from this patch that was added, was the inclusion of the 2 cinematics that came out for the epilogues. So we had the Alliance and the Horde version that came out. One of them I was more favoritism over the other because we got some new models.
Daddy.
Bane Daddy. As I said in my reaction video. Yeah, so the Horde one obviously I think was both of our favorites, pretty much. The Alliance one it was still good. You see Anduin in a more leadership role. I for a moment thought that he was having a presidential speech. You can actually see some memes on the internet where he has the "Make America Great
Of course,
Again"
there's
hat.
memes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's stupid, but still.
But like, let's talk about Saurfang for a second. Who voiced him? Archangel Gabriel? Like,
Yeah,
Jesus H, man.
I don't like the new voice actor for Sarfang.
It's not quite true to the OG sound, but Jesus Christ, that's some good voice acting. Like,
I
I
mean,
love that sound.
I'm not janking the voice actor and the voice of that character. I'm more janking the fact that the guy who voiced them originally, like, I think fit Sarfang very well.
Yeah, it did seem to fit him a little bit more. I will agree with you on that. But like,
This
I
one
ain't
seems
complaining.
more bloodthirsty, vicious. Which, granted, he's an orc. I get it.
Right,
He's an
but I
orc.
think
But yeah,
he's just so old and he's been through so much. He's so grizzled that he just has that nice deep rasp, and I love it.
it's still a cool voice. I just don't agree with it being on Sarfang. I just wish he had his old voice back, like he had in Ice Crown Citadel. But I don't know. I guess the voice actor retired or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but Bane also had a really nice. Bane's voice was nice and smooth, and I love that.
And the reason why I say Bane Daddy wasn't because, like, it's sexy. No, I mean it is a sexy model. Let's be serious, okay? It's pretty damn awesome. But I said Daddy because he acts like a dad in a way, like the way
He
his
is, yeah.
inflections in his voice and gets eaten if they're not careful.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's so
Well, I mean, the
beautiful.
Tauren in general seem to have a bit more of that vibe compared to the other Horde races.
Yeah.
Um,
He's more
let's talk
jovial.
about
He's more jovial, which I like. But
for sure.
I think you're about to talk about Galux, aren't you?
Yeah, I love and hate this fuck.
War
War
Chief.
Chief, a moment of your time. Like I love how Savannah just rolled her eyes like, ugh. Like,
Do you
well, I
want
can't tell him to go away.
do you want a mind blowing moment?
Sure.
Guess who voices him?
I want to say Danny DeVito, but I know it's not true.
No, definitely not Danny DeVito.
That would be amazing, though.
Reinhardt.
No.
It is. It's right. It's
No.
Darren DePaul. It is Darren DePaul. Reinhardt.
No.
It is.
Let me check his Twitter.
It is. I'm not lying. It is.
Where did you hear this information?
From WoW.
Really?
from Christy Golden and Taryn Gregory.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, same rasp, but I didn't. That hey, that's a mark of a good voice actor. If he can
Yeah,
change the tone of his voice that much, that's impressive.
yeah, he's a very versatile individual, and I'm conflicted because I've said before seeing Gallywix like in this cinematic that I don't like the actual character because I think he's
Right.
scum in my
Oh, he's a
opinion.
dick.
He's a
Total
total
dick.
dick. But seeing him in that cinematic, he's like, okay, he looks. Yes, he's ugly, but I mean those eyes are expressive as hell. I like
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh, that wicked ass grin that he gives.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was so good. Like Blizz, like the like Taryn and fam. Like you guys have been amazing at these cinematics, but like Legion has been the defining time for like moving parts in the face and like expressive faces.
Mhm.
Illidan's smirk, fucking Gallywix, Sourfang and Bane,
Yeah.
like just and tons more. And
Mhm.
oh, Gen, like happy, warm, grandfatherly Gen, like
He actually
hand to ring,
smiled, guys. He
kind
actually can
of.
smile.
It was half of a grin, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I very much enjoyed that for what that was.
Yeah, I mean both were really good. Obviously the Horde one I favored more. And then I did the Sarfang quest or Sarfang. Silithus quests. After first and foremost, I did clear Argus before I went into that. I did the LFR and then came down. That sword is fucking tall as hell.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
they kind of jank up the size a little bit every time you see it, from the space cinematic to like the what it looks like at the end of that cinematic, and then in Silithus, it's like a different size in everyone. But that doesn't matter. It's still
It's
cool to
still
look at,
huge
though.
as fuck. Like
Oh
I
yeah,
I was at the tip top and I did a rocket jump off and I still landed on the hilt. All right, that's just how big it is. So,
yeah, and
it's
like I
ridiculous.
did all the things. Like I tried to like explore and like see what I can do. Like I don't even think I could go all the way to the top. Like I got dismounted and I landed
No,
like
you can get
on
all the way to the top. I was able
like
to get up
I
there.
tried to get to the tippy top, but like it dismounted me and I landed on like on the hilts.
No, I got to the top. I don't know how yours didn't get up there, but
That was
um
like when it first got in there. They might have patched that because that's
they've been
fucking high, dude.
there's speculation like I think Katie was one person who talked about it. She was actually watching the stream when I was doing it earlier this week. She was saying I want that to be an instance at one point.
Didn't I say that when we had fucking oh god, Gooch, when we had Gooch on a couple
Oh
weeks
yeah, I
ago?
think you did.
I did, and he's like, "Oh, don't tease me, AJ." Well, spoiler alert. I know what happens, but we're not going to go any further than that.
Right. I
But
mean,
yes, I do want that to be an instance portal very badly because it looks like it could be.
it could be, and it'd
It'd
be
be like a
great.
Mario platform inside there going down through
Well,
it.
it's interesting how you say Mario platform because there was actually a Mario game in the past called Legend of the Seven Stars, where the sword crashes into Bowser's castle and it's actually a level at one point, and
Wow,
it just gives me that all those vibes. Love it.
totally. Yeah,
There's so many things
yeah.
that's happening. I'm again a little disappointed Allied races weren't in this, but again, this we weren't
Yeah,
promised
that's the
that.
thing. Like everyone was blowing up with, "Oh my god, no allied races," and I'm like, Blizzard said, like, when did we ever say allied races were coming with this patch? You know what I mean? Like people were getting very up in arms about it on Twitter, but that's just Twitter
I
for you.
think they were just more up in arms about it because they saw the data mine for it, and
Well, can't we always
guys,
trust data mining?
right? It's
Yeah,
whatever. But
but there was a lot more stuff to get up in arms about because let's just say some things were borked in this patch.
Bork.
Like like things got a little wonky. Like it was a 6 hour maintenance originally or 5 hours,
Mm-hmm.
and then it got up to like seven. And people were complaining like we should get a free day's game time, bitch. That's like a quarter. All right, shut up.
Yeah,
And
shut up.
but like
You had.
DBM needed to update. Like audio from DBM was cutting out, and
Mm-hmm.
like the frame drops were real. Like
Yeah.
my internet's kind of spiky to begin with, but I was hitting spikes of like 1,000 ms, and a lot of other people were getting bad latency. Um, there was just all things were just running like arse, and people were saying this is like the worst patch ever. I'm like, oh, you have not been around very long,
Have you
have
been
you?
around when AQ launched?
Were you around when Warlords launched? The
Oh, y'all
Warlords
have
launch was
no
pretty
idea.
rough.
You guys have no idea.
Yeah, when
Uh,
AQ launched, like, I mean, granted, our PCs were horse back then, but like, the server lag was horrendous because they weren't. I mean, fun fact, like within like 8 weeks, WoW got as many players, which I think is 800,000. Like they're expecting within the first year to get 800,000 players. That happened in like 6 or 8 weeks.
Hmm.
So that's part of the reason why the server lag was really bad back then. But I also did a little bit of, or trying to make a DK when Wrath launched.
Yeah,
Everybody was there.
everyone
Um,
did
I
that.
I did a little bit of digging, and apparently someone was trying to like optimize like memory or like RAM something or other for like the 32-bit client. Who uses 32-bit? I don't know. But apparently whoever was trying to do that borked some other stuff, and that's why it was causing like um it was causing a lot of like CPU issues. Like WoW eats up a fair bit of CPU to begin with, but apparently it was eating up a lot more than it should be. Hence, like the frame drops and a lot of the borks and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
like that's like don't quote me exactly that I heard that from like a semi-reliable source, but some stuff definitely went a little bit funky. But you know what? It's a patch. New systems were implemented. Stuff was added. Like you gotta expect that to happen. And like the next day, there was like another 8-hour maintenance or some shit when they tried to fix it, and they fixed a lot of it. Some stuff's still kind of wonky, but they did fix a lot of it.
yeah,
And like they're developers, on a massive online game with a lot of people on their team. All it takes is one small bork for stuff to happen. Like people are giving them way too much shit.
yeah,
The amount of times WoW was completely unplayable for days or weeks at a time in the past, 1 week of like, bleh, is really nothing to cry about. You know what I mean?
yeah. Ah, people don't know. They just don't understand. They don't understand the days of classic. Even BC and Wrath era, they don't understand those days. So,
Again, even WoD launch for some people was like like the whole garrison phasing. Like so many people couldn't even build their garrison because it was just horrible.
yeah,
But yeah, but it kills me. People are like, "This is my one day off in 3 weeks. I should be compensated." I'm like, "All right, I'm sorry you work that much, but like, really, you should be compensated for a one day? Like, do you not understand what comes with an online? I don't know. I hate when people complain.
yeah. All right. Well, moving on. Let's go on to a topic that we're gonna definitely talk about in a little more detail. Is there's been quite a few things going on YouTube recently. And
Ooh, yes.
before you guys say, "Oh, it's YouTube, it's not related to video games," let me first stop you there. Where do a lot of video game players who make videos upload their content? YouTube. All right. Granted, Twitch is there too, but YouTube's for single videos is more popular than watching Twitch uploads. All right. In the meantime, so I've been looking on my Twitter. There's a good friend of mine. His name's Romeyer. He had his channel was demonetized because he didn't have the certain threshold that is now on YouTube's rules, and he's mad about it. A lot of people are voicing how mad they are about it. I mean, even some people are against this change. Others aren't bothered by it too much. I know Sharm said something about it's like, guys, don't forget the reason why you're actually making YouTube videos is not to make money. It's because you like making it. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
true.
Yeah, it really kills me when like I saw guys like I've been making videos for 2 years. I have almost 1,000 subs. All that hard work for nothing. I'm like, all right, no offense, buddy. Like if you don't have 1,000 subs, like how much money were you really making?
Yeah.
Like especially within the past year with all the like cuts and ads, like and then people say, oh, I can't be eligible for monetization. There goes the dream career. Someone with less subs than me, and I'm like, back in the day, like you had to fight tooth and nail to get any kind of partnership with. Like I think it was Panzer, who said
Mhm.
she made videos like a lot for at least 2 years before she was partnered, and she had been declined several times. Like now I can monetize my videos very easily. I mean, maybe not now, but before, like a few months ago, like it was so easy. Like people don't know how good they have it or
Mhm.
had it or technically still have it. You know what I mean?
Well, they made changes recently, so
Right. But
um,
even those are still more friendly than they were way back when.
So this is an article coming from Polygon. YouTube has been the subject of unrelenting backlash from lesser-known creators following the company's decision to change how monetization works on the platform. But it's important to note that these changes were inevitable and necessary. YouTube's new monetization rules will affect smaller creators the most. The updated rules state that in order for creators to be eligible for the partner program, a collection of whose channels can be monetized through Google's AdSense, they must have a total watch time of 4,000 hours in the past 12 months and a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. This is a major departure from the program's previous policy, which only required channels to have 10,000 lifetime views. Um, the company attempted to defend its decision by noting that 99% of those affected were making less than $100 per year in the last year, with 90% of those earnings less than $2.50 in the last month. The backlash from smaller YouTubers was instant and unforgiving. Criticism among various creators, while some were worried about their channels' revenues dying up, others felt like they were being excommunicated from the greater YouTube community. A cursory glance at Reddit and Twitter, and of course YouTube, will demonstrate just how upset people are with the overhaul in the partner program. While I empathize with those small creators trying to find their way on the platform and their valid criticism, I also understand why YouTube made such drastic changes. So let's go into this a little bit. So for my channel, I have over 2,200 subscribers right now for my channel. I did not apply for, well, okay, I was able for monetization earlier than that. Granted, here's the thing about AdSense that a lot of people don't know. For AdSense, on Google's AdSense, if you get partnered with YouTube, um, every month you get an amount of money added to your Google AdSense account. That money is dependent on how many views you have, how many clicks were on ads, and what your watch time is, and some other stuff. Now, unless your video has some copyright content added onto that, you may not get have a video it may not be able to be monetized. All right,
Eligible for monetization.
yeah, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be eligible for monetization. So if you upload, let's say you uploaded a music video of a J-Lo song, guess what? It's probably not going to be monetizable because it's not yours, and you just downloaded it and re-uploaded it. That's all you did. All right. Granted, it has to probably be blocked. Now, if you do a parody of a song, it's hit or miss. Sometimes you can get it monetized, sometimes you can't. Certain videos, if you don't credit a certain video that you use in the video, that can be demonetized too. But there's a lot of videos nowadays, and I've noticed on some of my videos, where the videos when they go live, they instead of having a green monetized symbol, meaning that your video is monetized, it'll have a yellow
Yellow.
symbol, which
May or
means,
may not be eligible.
well, it's actually limited monetization, which I'm gonna actually look and see if it actually still is limited, because usually it'll
Yeah.
start like that and then they'll change it eventually. Okay, so they did change this one. It's back to green now. Um, that kind of bugs me because even if what you said is very tame, like PG rated, and you say, well, some advertisers aren't gonna like this. I don't think it agrees. Who cares? Let the advertisers find out for themselves and decide by themselves. All right? I
Yeah,
don't think
but I mean,
YouTube should have to have that.
I like to think that YouTube was given some kind of prerequisites by the advertisers of what, they don't want. So as like a safety blanket, they just kind of do that, and then they like shoot first, ask questions later based upon maybe what their advertisers told them. Again, I'm not on the other side. I don't really know all this, but that's my guess. To me, that's why they would do that.
All right. Well, going back onto the AdSense again. So based on how much watch time, yes, you could have a range from $1 to $3 a month added to your AdSense account. Which if you have an average between 5,000 to 10,000 views a month, you're gonna have only an average of up to $5 a month in your AdSense. Um, the thing is, most AdSense accounts, you can't actually access the money from that until you hit your $100 threshold. Same thing for Twitch. You can't actually access that money that you make through not donations, bits, subscriptions, and all that, unless you hit $100 threshold. That's just how the companies do it. The problem is with a lot of people, they're not going to actually hit that mark on YouTube until I say probably 2 or 3 years down the road. Like it'll take a long
Usually,
time
yeah.
just to get that $100, unless you get a big viral video. For example, the video I did for Black Prince of Veiled Stare, which is a Machinima Man song that I did with Nan doing the video, that was shared by Warcraft, which got a lot of views from Warcraft, who's sharing it. And my AdSense went up from $10 to $46. So I got $36 added to the AdSense account, which was like Okay, that's cool. So unless that happens, you're not going to get much profit from that stuff, which is why there's a lot of MCNs. MCNs are people like Curse and a few other companies, or Machinima's even one of them. Although, don't ever partner with Machinima. I'm just saying right now, don't
Don't
do that.
yeah,
Don't do that.
Machinima, TGN, stay away.
Yeah, don't partner with those guys. Um, the I just lost my train of thought. So these MCNs, so I can tell you for the Curse Union for Gamers, even if you only get $2 or $3 a month, you still get paid that out. So they send it to your PayPal. You're able to take it out. It's a 90-10 revenue split. You get 90% of it. They only get 10, which is not bad. Then
That's generous. Honestly,
granted,
that's generous.
granted, there's not much else they'll do for you. So that's just saying if you're able to market yourself regularly and make yourself out there, then it's going to be really well for you. But they're not going to like promote you and stuff like that. That's all you doing it. But
Right.
which is why I'm still with them because you're still able to get money through that.
Right. But
Now,
like as a guy who has a very small footprint on YouTube, like my first upload was July of 2016. I probably stopped uploading regularly like 8 months ago, and like a year and a half later, I have 174 subs. I haven't even thought about enabling monetization, but so like
mhm.
it freaking kills me when I hear these people with a footprint on YouTube around my size like complaining so much. Like you're not making like jack crap. Like why are you complaining so hard? You know what I mean? Like I don't get it. Like get over yourself is all I really have to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Um. So, but looking at the new prerequisites for partners, I actually expected it to be a lot worse. Like I expected to be like, oh, you need to have 2,000 subscribers or 10,000 hours watched in the past 12 months. That's still not bad. 4,000 hours, 1,000 subs. That's not bad.
No, not bad at
So
all.
I mean, granted, I feel sorry for those who got subscribed or demonetized because they hit the partner status early and then they just weren't able to get any viewers from it. I feel sorry for them, but at the same time, like it doesn't. I don't know. It's just, I mean, granted, it's hard for a lot of people to actually get views, especially in YouTube nowadays. There's so many videos out there,
Oh,
so
it's
many
so
things you could do.
saturated.
You have to have your own niche on a lot of things.
Really
You get
do.
like let me. I'll just use. I don't want to use me as an example because I don't really have too much to say about it. Like for example, for the WoW parody community, let's go there. Um, I would say the only reason I got views on stuff, other than collaborations with Latomi and Charm and all that, other than, the only reasons I got other views is because I don't think there was an actual male vocal goblin in the mix. So you pick a niche, you pick something that's not there, and you upload it. And then you got people like Markiplier, who, is a superstar on the channel, on his channel, which he has his own niche to things. Granted, him and like a lot of people compare him and PewDiePie, which they shouldn't. They're two different individuals. One is
Both
radically different than the
the
other,
only real comparison is that they're both like near the top of like YouTube
and they're
popularity.
both
That's really it.
gamers. That's the only similarities
Only
I
two
see.
compare and they're dudes. Only
Yeah,
comparisons you can really make.
but like that's the only thing I think of. However, like there's I don't know. Um, whose mic keeps cutting out? Is it mine or AJ's you're talking about, Rigsby? If it's mine,
Uh,
whoops.
that might be mine. Like my internet kind of spikes a little bit, so it's probably me.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, like I said, you have to have a niche. You have to have something that's not been done over and over. Oh, mine? Oh, jeez. I think it's because I've
I,
been stopping every now and then. So if
yeah,
if
I
it's
haven't noticed it.
if it's on, yeah, I am recording too. So if it won't, it'll pick it up easier on the recording rather than on the stream. So whoops. If not, YOLO. But anyways, then again, I'm streaming, she is streaming at the same time, so
Yeah,
we'll see.
bandwidth.
Bandwidth. Um, however, I see some people's points. Like I see why like they're upset about this and how they think YouTube is not giving a crap about their smaller viewers, which to be honest, I don't think they do. I don't think they care about them as much as they should. But that's also the point of, when YouTube is a company that gets that big.
You really can't keep them. Really can't give. You can only give so much care to like the thousands of like really really little guys. You know what I mean? Like you got it. It makes more sense from a business perspective to give more love to the guys who are drawing in more views, getting more attention. Like a point I was going to bring up is, do you think this is a way of helping out the bigger guys a little bit? Because a lot of the bigger channels have also been getting hit with some demonetization. Do you think with cutting, the little bit of revenue that was going out to all those little guys, you think they might be able to give a bit more love to some of the bigger guys that got demonetized, give them a few more pennies as a result, or do you think that's just completely separate?
I don't know really, because I think most of the bigger guys, they're not getting much of their revenue nowadays from YouTube itself. I think they're getting theirs from
Right.
sponsorships.
Sponsorships, merch,
So
yeah.
and depending on who they are partnered, like if you are partnered with an MCN, you are partnered with YouTube as well, but you're
Right.
still partnered primarily with the MCN. Um, However, I think it's just something we all gotta watch. This just happened, so
Oh yeah.
I think give it a couple months, we'll see what the actual effects are. But until then, the only thing I could say, like, you just again, like I know I'm repeating myself over and over, but do something that someone's not done before. Don't just use a template and go with it, and then
Mm.
upload it
Which
from
is really
there.
hard to do because so many people are doing so many things. It's so
Hmm.
easy to get buried. Like the Lazy Peon made a beautiful comparison with like the hierarchy system and like what's it called? Channel relevance? No. Channel authority. He's
Hmm.
like, you can make a video called "I had sex with a washing machine." PewDiePie pumps out a video with the same exact name. Your video will be nowhere to be seen in
Right.
comparison. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how obscure or different it is. If you have that much channel authority, you're gonna just have that much. I just saw your face in reaction to that. It's gonna have that much more of an impact.
Yeah.
And it's really, really, really. Again, there's millions of people on this platform who all do something. It's really hard to be unique.
You also
So,
have to be
like, just go full
consistent
balls
too.
and do what you can.
You have to be consistent too. So keep yourself to a schedule. Always put stuff out to keep yourself, because you ask some of the people who are big now, like Panzer, like we talked about before. Like she didn't get there by just being lucky. She put out a lot of videos. She did a lot of content. She did a lot of stuff. That's why she's a big name on YouTube now, is because she put in the work. Same thing with even Markiplier, even though he got a little more luckier than most. However, he still put in the work. You can look back on some of his videos, they're all a lot like bleh and stuff. With walkthroughs though, Robert, like it's the same thing though. If you're gonna like if you let's say a popular game like Five Nights at Freddy's, if you're gonna do a gameplay through of that game, it again depends on the person playing it. For example, if you're gonna do my playthrough of Five Nights at Freddy's, okay, you do realize that Markiplier has done that too, and he gets a
Right. Like, what makes
lot
yours so?
more views
Yeah.
than you do on
It's like,
that.
what makes yours so special? Why should I stick around to watch yours
Yeah,
when
you
there's this
gotta
other
have
guy?
something that makes it special. You also gotta title it a specific way too. If you title it
Mm-hmm.
generically, no one's gonna watch it. If you
Exactly.
also gotta tag your videos the right way too. You gotta like
Which
put
not everyone knows how to
specific.
do.
You gotta have specific keywords that people search for. You can't just have no tags and hope someone finds it, because no one's going to find it if you have no tags. You have to put in
Mm-hmm.
proper search terms. You have to also, not even just for the title, certain words that are used in the videos, certain aspects of the videos, the company that the game is made by, the game title, the characters in the
Mm-hmm.
game. You got to
Mm-hmm.
include everything. You
And
can't
the description as well. You have to include some of this stuff. Descriptions are more important than people realize. Also,
eh, it's hit or
they
miss.
they're relevant. They're not as big as tags and titles, but it's still relevant. And thumbnails. I used to deny for the longest time. You don't need a great thumbnail. No, get a decent
You
thumbnail. All
do
right,
need
it really does
thumbnails
make a
too.
difference.
Um, there's also some thumbnails that are just like deceptive too. So
Clickbait.
clickbait. I mean, that is a way to get views. It is a way. I wouldn't recommend doing
Yeah,
it,
but
but it
like
is a way.
you and I, like we work clean. You know what I mean? Like we don't,
We do.
we're not about that
No,
clickbait.
I'm kidding. I'm
You
kidding.
might
We
be
do.
a you might be a goblin, but like no, like real talk, like we work clean. We're not about the clickbaiting and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets you views, but it gets you dirty views. You know what I mean?
Hmm. You're gonna get a lot more dislikes than likes. So don't be a Jake Paul or a Logan Paul. Be your own person.
Don't let's not even go
Yeah. All right. Well, having said that, if you are a smaller channel, just don't lose hope. Don't get. I mean, you can get upset, but don't get overly mad about it. Like if you keep mad and you just pitch a fit about it, what's gonna happen? Nothing. All right. You want to learn from your not mistake. It's not a mistake. You want to learn from this. You want to say, okay, well, they want this to be the rules now. Well, I'll prove that I'm going to put in the work to actually get to that threshold. And also collaborate with other people. Like find other
Yes.
smaller channels, find other YouTubers, and like say, hey, do you want to play a game together and maybe stream it, or hey, do you want to do a song together or anything, or do you have advice on making better make videos and stuff? Like ask around. That's how what I did when I did my videos. That's what
Hmm.
AJ's done. He's done that.
Build a community. Like I don't have a large following on YouTube or Twitch, but like everywhere I go, people know my fucking name. Why?
Hmm.
Because I go out of my way to be active in communities and make friends and not really cross promote, but like kind of like low key talk about stuff and like I bring various communities together. Like make a community and involve
Yeah.
yourself in community. Just at the very least get your name out there. So like if you're like say like for example you make a video and it gets a little surge in views and it pops up as like a recommended because it's similar to something that someone else made, like people will say, "Oh, I know that name," and then they'll click on it, like, "Oh, hey guys, you know this guy?" And then like they'll share it, and like that gets a bit of a spider web going.
Yeah.
Like when I did my reaction video to rejection of the gift, granted I got thrown into like a collab of reaction, so that definitely helped.
Yeah.
But like people like I would pop up into like Twitch, like Nobo and Nick's Twitch chat, and people were like, "Oh, yo, dude, I'm seeing your channel pop up places." I'm like, "I know you." I'm like, "Yeah, you do."
Now,
Like,
having said that, don't use people though. All right.
no,
Do not
no,
use
no, no.
people because I have had some people try to use me for their stuff in the past before. You haven't heard from them again. All right. Not because that sounded bad. That if you try and use somebody, you're gonna look like a dick, and you're not only gonna get on that person's shit list, you're gonna get on a lot of other people's shit list. All
Yep.
right. Because if you do it to one person, you'll do it to another person. Do it to another person, you're gonna start getting your
And
name
it spreads
passed
like
around in a
wildfire.
negative way.
Like,
You don't want to be that
say
kind
like
of person.
yeah, if people say this dude's a user, that's gonna spread, and people are not gonna want to work with you or even talk to you. So
Right.
like, don't be fake, but be friendly.
Friendly. Yeah.
Be a person that people want to interact with.
Yeah. And also limit how much you talk to somebody. Like don't like overly talk about things to somebody. Like,
Yeah.
talk, listen, and actually listen. All right. There's active listening, and then there's just talking down your ass and not knowing what you're talking about. All right.
Don't be like me and interrupt the other guy every 5 seconds. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not polite. I try. It's hard to control, but don't do
It's
that.
hard not to interrupt someone on a stream because
Yeah.
there's delay, there's all that stuff and whatever.
Yeah. So
But
don't do that.
yeah. So just don't be discouraged if you were monetized and you got demonetized. Do not be discouraged. All right. There's a way you can get around it. Just keep working at it, collaborate, and yeah. So
Yeah, but on top of that, a nicer way of putting how what I said earlier, be humble. Like realize that yes, you are a very small channel if you're a small channel. Like be humble and just like recognize that. Don't think like, "Oh, I've worked all this and I've lost all of it." Like no. You're way down here. There's people way up here. Like Kava said, don't get discouraged, keep working at it, but don't act like you're a king who's been dethroned.
right.
Just because you're a small channel that got demonetized. Just be humble, all right? No one,
In
no
the
one likes a cocky bastard.
in the everlasting words of Kendrick Lamar, sit down, be humble. So all
There you go.
right. And having said that, that is a show, ladies and gentlemen. That is all we're
I
going to
do
talk
think
about
that's a
today.
show.
All right,
Yeah.
so real quick, a lot of the topics that the topic that we talked about this week was recommended by Kitzel Mama. So, or Mama Kitzel, as you want to, or the Kitzel the Muse, however she wants her name to be called
Mama
nowadays. I don't
Kitzel.
know. She
She's a
recommend
character on The Sims, isn't she?
sure.
Yeah, I thought she
But
had a Sims character in our Sims thing.
oh no, she doesn't have one yet. I don't think.
Aw.
Not yet. I thought you meant The Simpsons.
No. Jesus. Carry
No,
on.
I haven't played Sims in a long time, so I don't remember. However, she recommended today's show topic about the YouTube monetization. So thank you again for that recommendation. Like how she did it, we would love recommendations for you guys on what we should talk about on the show as show topics. So if you'd like to recommend one, please send us a tweet or an email. You can send the show a tweet at Patch Day Podcast on Twitter. You can send myself a tweet at Cavo350. You can send AJ a tweet at AJ9Lives. That's
With
AJ
two S's.
with two S's at the end of lives. So you can also send us an email at patchdaypodcast@gmail.com. And you can visit our website at patchday.podomatic.com for episodes and other stuff there.
Mm-hmm.
AJ, I pretty much said where people can find you, but anything you planning this week? You know?
I got my weekly Dark Souls series up on the Elite Immortal Gaming Network, which I forgot to mention earlier about things getting buried, like when Moses mentioned like game walkthroughs. The reason like that series doesn't get a lot of love is because so many other people do Dark Souls guide videos. So
Yeah.
I was just throwing a thought at that. But you can find me AJ9 Lives, AJ9 LIVESS, Twitter, Instagram, but no one cares about Instagram, YouTube, Twitch.
People care
Kava
about
and I both.
Instagram. You'd be surprised how many people care about Instagram.
I don't upload anything. Doesn't matter.
I'll give you 2 words of how who cares about Instagram. You ready? Kim Kardashian. That's all I'm saying.
Moving on. Kavo and I both upload to the Elite Immortal Gaming Network, which I will plug in the chat in a couple of seconds here. I do a Dark Souls series. This podcast also gets uploaded, and Kava does time walking fails, and
that's it.
Yeah, we used to do the Overwatch League recap, but that
has been changed to a podcast. So the time walking fails is currently on a little break right now, just because of certain things at the moment. I'm working through some stuff, but they'll be back shortly at some point. Especially since the last few ones that we did with Chain and Orgath were extra hilarious. So they have.
Oh yeah, my girlfriend watched those and she loved them all the time. Walking.
Pew, pew, yeah. And a pew appears. Anyways, guys, and you can follow me, like I said, Twitter, YouTube, all those places at Cavo350. We are getting on out of here. I think that is a show. I would say that is a job well done. Cheerio, laddies and lasses out there on the video game battlefield. We will see you guys next week on Sunday at 5:30 p.m. Central Standard Time or 6:30 Eastern, wherever you are in the world. Just correlate as you can. Till then, guys, for AJ, for myself, for all the bachachos in the community, and all you lovely folks, we will see you next time. Logging out for now. Goodbye.